let's talk color. Okay, so this is a fun part. So this is where you get to transform who you are, right? So, okay, today, because it's one of the most popular, most requested, we're gonna do a little bit more dramatic going out type, but I'm gonna start with a simple and then show you how to dramatic it up for, like, if you have to work on Friday but you're going out Friday night. So, without having to start over, right? But let's start with primer. So remember, we didn't put any foundation or anything on our eyes because it's not necessary. So I'm going to take a little bit of primer and I am going to use it on my eyes. And I like to let it sit for a second and dry. Okay, so this is going to make my eyeshadow really adhere to my eye, and it's not going to go anywhere. But with that being said, you have to remember, as you're applying the eyeshadow, it's going to stay put. So you're going to have to apply it carefully, right? But it's not coming off. You're going to have to wash it off at the end of the night. But do you see how the primer, look at the difference. This eye has primer, this eye does not. You can see that the primer is plenty of foundation for your eye. And I skipped a step of tugging on my eye, right? So, trying to save that as elasticity as much as I can. So we have all kinds of different ways to go with eyeshadows and lipsticks and blushes. So I'm going to show you some of those, but if you're looking for something different, let me know. I bet I can hook you up. So I am a huge fan of our cream shadows, and if you've never tried a cream shadow, you should definitely try it because they are amazing. And if you want a super bold look, a cream shadow topped with a powder shadow is definitely like going to give you the boldest look ever. Okay, so while that's setting, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on the rest of the color. Okay, so we have our blushers and they are super highly pigmented, so they are not going anywhere. So this was the second blush I ever bought. So I've had this for like a year and a half, and you can see that it's not even touched. Like, you will never have to replace a unique blusher unless you break it. So or lose it. So note that it's super pigmented, so I just dipped my brush in it twice, okay? And look at all that pigmentation. So you're going to want to be very careful. So you're going to want to tap it off. Notice this brush. This is our blusher brush. So it is tighter on the top, looser on the bottom. That's why the angle. And that allows the looser part to blend into that contour, okay? So being very careful, because we don't want to get crazy, right? Now notice I'm leaving my bright triangle open. That is a step. I mean, that is like a key to this bold look, right? Now, remember, I'm keeping everything above my nose line, or even with my nose line. Alright, now, you can pull it up just a little bit with whatever's left on your brush, but I wouldn't go adding to your brush. Okay? You're not putting it too close, you're not putting it too high. Alright? So there you go with the blush. Pretty simple. If you are looking for something for your daughter who's just learning how to wear makeup, you're going to want to go with our blushes that are not if you go with one of these, this one's bright, but it's just the one that I grabbed, but they're not as pigmented, so they're not going to get as bold. Like, they're not going to be able to really overdo it, you know. We have a really soft pink one called Serene, and that's really probably, that's what I would always suggest for a new young girl. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go with lips. So we're gonna do a bold eye, and so I love a nude lip with a bold eye. My favorite are our splashes because they last hours. So I like that line. This liner is called Pouty, and it's a perfect nude liner. If you're into the more of the stick kind of like these, you have to apply them more, but Well-To-Do is my favorite nude. And I use that with Pouty as well. We also have lip stains, and our lip stains last. The key with our lip stains are, you want it on a super clean lip. You're going to use a straw when you're drinking. And you're going to do 3 layers, letting it dry in between each one. And then you're not going to have to worry about it all day. And I love our lip stains. And we actually have a whole line of new colors that just came out. Social is amazing. Let's see. Okay, so here is our Splash Liquid Lipstick. This is my favorite. It is liquid, goes on liquid, but once it dries, it becomes non-transferable. Okay, virtually. So that means pretty much. Okay, now look how huge this tube is, and I'm wiping it off, like just wiping it. This color is Stellar. And it is really stellar. Now all of these, not all of them, but these do dry to a matte finish. We do have some with a shimmer in them. But, so if you don't like the matte finish, you can always top it with a gloss or our Hottie lip plumper, which I have right here. If you do that, then you're going to affect the longevity of the time that it lasts. So just be aware of that. Okay, so now that my eyes are nice and dry, right? One thing I want to do, when you blot, here's a super cool tip. You're not blotting like the lipstick. You're just getting rid of anything that was on the inside. Like, don't get rid of that outside layer because it's pretty. And don't use a napkin. That's falling apart, apparently. Okay, so I'm going to use our Moodstruck Addiction Shadow Palettes. Now, we do have splurge creams, and we have our pressed shadows, which are phenomenal, and you create your own palette. But the Moodstruck Addiction palettes are already created for you. The colors are put together. This one is phenomenal for a bold eye. Okay, so I'm gonna do this very carefully, and we're just gonna go for it, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, So remember, if you are one of my more mature watchers, viewers, then you are going to want to be careful with shimmers, okay? So, shimmer is not always your friend. Alright, if you are one of my younger, then shimmer it up, okay? So, you can get colors in shimmer or not. I am taking a super cool color. This is called Polish, and I am putting it on my waterline. And that is going to allow it's going to give my eye a little bit of a wider appearance, okay? So it's going to take squinty eyes to just a little bit more open. Alright, so I would also use a pristine white for that, but since we're going with a super hot look today, I added a little shimmer to it, okay? Alright, so if you have to go to work today, okay, but you're going out tonight, then start off simple. Do something like a lighter color. This is Honorable, okay? And you're going to go on the outer half of your eye. Now, if you're wondering what brush I'm using right now, this is our Unique's crease brush. And it's probably the easiest brush to use when you're trying to be super careful. Okay? So this is Honorable. So this is one of the lighter dark colors. Does that make sense? It is a matte color. But this is super easy for a work look, okay? So, and anybody can use this kind of. So just kind of pull it over just a little bit. Now I'm hooded. I have hooded eyes, so I keep my eyes from being so hooded by making my crease higher than it actually is. Does that make sense? Okay, so whatever I do on top, I pull down on bottom, and this is something that scared me at first, but it definitely brings the eye look together. Okay, so. And it gives you a nice defined line out here, okay? So I've seen people put tape. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're killing yourself, okay? Okay. You are killing the elasticity of your eye if you put tape on it and then rip that tape off. Such an easier way, just use a blending blade. Straighten it up, okay? Like this, watch. There you go, okay? Alright, so this one needs to go out a little bit more, I think. Alright, now if you are so you're going to work, right? So you're not wanting something super crazy. So just take a angled brush and take a bright, pretty color Romantic, and so I'm using Romantic, and I'm just going to take that pretty bright color, Shimmer, and I'm just going to start at the inner corner, and I'm just going to kind of go up halfway, okay? Now, this is a look that is going to be acceptable in a professional atmosphere, or running your errands all day, right? So you're going to be okay with this look. You don't have to overdo it. Okay, so this is just a super easy, fast 2-color look, right? This is a blending brush. I put nothing on it. I'm just going to kind of blend those 2 colors together right there. And there you have it, okay? So that's a super simple, easy going to work look that is easily transformed into a hot going out on a date look. So I use these 2 colors, Honorable and Romantic, okay? But let's add some hotness to it, okay? So who's ready? Who's ready for some fun? So I'm gonna take, oh, y'all didn't, I have to put it underneath, remember? Since I put it on top, I put it underneath as well. It just seems to bring it out more. Okay. Now, let's, we're going to take this to another level, right? So we're gonna take, this is a liner shade brush. Look how thin that is, right? So, and I am going to take a darker color, Perplexed, and I am going to give myself a nice dark V. Okay, see what I did? I am going to pull that down, of course. Now, if you're really good at this, you can wet your brush and go at it really fast, right? But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it keep it nice and steady. Now notice I'm still not going like all the way in. I'm still staying on that outer half, right? I have something super fun to amp up that inside. So this is how I'm adding a little bit of smoke to the fire. Pull it up just a little bit. I always start low and then I end up pulling it up normally. But if I start high, then I end up hating it, I think. Always. Now. I like this to be a super defined line, okay? So I'm kind of defining it out here. That's why I use a pointed brush. Helps me really get that defined point there. Okay. Okay, so I have something fun that I'm going to do on the inner part, but you're going to want to make sure that you have this nice and pulled down nice and even. Especially if you're hooded, because you want to lift that eye, not, so you want your point kind of curved up, okay? So because you're wanting to lift the eye and not drop it. So we're making our eyes smile. All right, so here we go. Now, for the fun part. I love to take this color Blissful. It is such a gorgeous color. And I like to take like a fun, this is a fluffy crease brush. And look at that, just really golden it out. Now I'm going on top of that point, you see, and underneath, okay? Look how pretty that color is. Okay, so we went from day to night pretty quickly, pretty easily, right? So I am not going to y'all, I'm having a problem over here. You see this? It's driving me nuts. So I am not going to blend this because I like the definition and I like the points. Okay. So what I am going to do though is I am going to I'm going to put a highlighter underneath here in just a little bit that is going to finish off the look. But I am going to do that when I finish my at the end of the, I can see that I'm not even. Hold on. Tell me I'm not even, girl. There we go. But before we go, I do want to show you how to get a super amazing, easy winged liner. So wing liner is all the craze, right? So if you want to do a wing liner, then you're gonna want the right product. So you're gonna want a liquid eyeliner, okay? And you're gonna want a matching color in the pencil eyeliner. So this is Unique's Perfect. These are perfect blacks. Okay, when you're doing a wing, you're going to want to go from the outside in, because if you go from the inside out, then that's when you get that jagged line, and that is not a no. That's a no-no, right? So, and if you do have to go from the inside out for whatever reason, you're just going to dab, okay? So watch this. Look how cool and pointed that is. Watch this. Watch how easy. All right. Super easy, right? Do it on the other side. Uh-oh. See what I did? That's That's alright. That's alright. I can fix it with a... Now I gotta put it back in. Alright. Still have a little spot there, but it'll come off with a Q-tip when I'm fixing my mascara. So there you have it. Isn't that easy? Okay, so watch. Now, you're going to take the same color in a pencil and do the underneath just